And you deserve to let go all of that's inside that has a hold on you. So many of us walk through life with all these things that just bring us down and it just eats us up.
Yeah.
And we're not able to let it go. You're going to learn that. For me, I was taught the tools on how to let and heal and close these chapters. And I'm a totally different person. I went through a divorce. I went through, again, an assault. I lost my job from budget cuts. I've been through a lot. And I took 3 years. The past 3 years, I have focused on myself to heal, to relearn who I am now today, especially becoming a single mom. Things that I don't want to ever bring to my next relationship. And then again, things that I won't allow in my life anymore because, again, I don't let toxicity in my life. People go. I had to do that to protect myself.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat is like the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, then everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked in. I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up at the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the award show. Becoming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Saber, hoe. You just tucking the cake in.
Now, my special guest, Krista's in the building.
Hi.
What are you most grateful for?
Opportunities like yourself to use a platform to, help encourage people to be their best when they're not always feeling that way.
Oh, man, I don't even give anybody a heads up that I'm going to ask them but you just nailed that one.
I love you.
That's what's up. That was cool. So those of you that haven't met Krista, don't know Krista has been in, do we call it the radio business? What do we call it?
Yeah.
Radio business. Radio
yeah.
business. So when did you start in radio? What was your first gig in radio?
I started 25 years ago. I was a senior in college. My passion was improv, so Saturday Night Live. So I used to do a lot of song parodies.
Nice.
Yeah. One called Fire Crotch, the other one called One Eye. I mean, I kept it real. And what happened, I went to a Catholic college, so imagine the nuns watching that and listening.
Man, I can't imagine.
I know. And so the general manager of the radio station in La Crosse, Wisconsin, was in the audience, knew my director, asked, "Who is that?" And he goes, "That's Krista." And then I got hired for my first morning show on a rock station. So I went to college, and that's how it started.
That's what's up. Fire Crotch and One Eye.
And period. There's another. That's for all the ladies out there.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds insane. So I don't want to get it wrong. I believe you've been in Madison now close to 10 years, if not over 10 years.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
What brought you here?
Job, work, to start a morning show out here on 93.1 Jams.
So, and now you work for iHeart.
I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So in radio, now I know other people that have had to move around in radio, take better jobs. How difficult is that? Well, specifically for you to move based on work?
Well, in this industry, it's very important. You have to sacrifice, you have to move. Those are really two things that you must do to get ahead in this industry. And, it can be very cutthroat, but you just have to work extremely hard and learn as much as possible. And especially with society, radio back in 2000 is completely different than today. I mean, I started when CDs were the thing to play on the radio.
Yeah.
And then there was no show prep. You had to come up with your own material. So that's completely different. So, being in this city, working, with 93.1 Jams, Magic 98. And now I'm on Z104 and 96.3 Star Country. It's been fabulous because I feel like my friends have followed me in this community.
Mm.
Yeah.
So when you said show prep, I believe that's a term you used. What was involved? What do you mean by show prep?
It's material that
Okay.
on-air personalities can, pick and choose what they like that they think is best that would fit, the audience that they have. Yep.
Well, they used to wait a minute. Wow, I didn't even I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So there was a time where the radio personality could control what they play and control what music they wanted on air and really had power right there.
Oh, back in the day, yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now everything's computerized.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see that.
So which one there's probably benefits to it being computerized, right? It's probably a little bit faster, a little bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
But would it safe to say you have less control over the music now and what you could play?
Yes, there's someone in, a position that programs our music for us. Yeah.
Which, if you had to choose, and now I don't want to get you in trouble, but if you had to choose which one you would prefer to do, would you prefer to pick your own music and sort of build your show around that? Or would you prefer having the program director, or it's the program director, right, that controls the music? Whoever's in control of the music, which one is your preference?
To me, the most important thing is my content.
Mm.
So,
was that a safe answer? Was that? Or
no, it's true though. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, the music's going to play regardless.
So what
but
you
they
talk
are the
about
experts.
on air.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just wanted to give people a brief introduction, and I had questions that I wasn't even aware of. 25 years, I didn't even know that. So now I want to dive into a little bit of how I met you. Now, you've always supported anything I've done, which is mind blowing. And so whether it was music related, gym related, and we built a better connection when it had to do with mental health and mental wellness. And so that's when I would say we became a tighter unit where we found common ground on things.
Yes.
And so where cultures, sexes, anything that could divide us, gone. It was just about someone's well-being. And I found a whole new respect for you, because I was like, wow, she's really an advocate. And you're not just one of those people that say, hey, yeah, show them love. It was, no, you actually do stuff. You do stuff to help people. And so what was sort of that catalyst where you were like, okay, I want to do something for mental wellness, and I want to be an advocate, I guess. I would say warrior, because I've seen you get in the trenches and work and try to help and be as supportive as possible. So what was the catalyst for that?
It has always been a part of my life, mental health, and a part of my journey and who I am. And I felt like I needed to use my platform, not just for entertainment, but more importantly, how can I help other people in situations? And so, philanthropic work is very important to me in different fields that we have here, when it comes to blood cancer or, education for children or poverty. But mental health is a very, very personal, special thing to me. And so I really wanted to be able to help in that way, especially when it comes to young women. And, I had the opportunity of joining up with Tolarian Behavioral Health out here. So I've been working with them for the last 10 years. And actually, that is when you became a sponsor
Yes.
of my radiothon
Mhm.
that we did for 14 hours straight to help raise money for those that are just so deserving, right,
Mhm.
of treatment in our community. Because as you know, it's extremely expensive.
Mhm.
And everyone needs the opportunity to get help.
Mhm.
Um, and that's kind of like my journey with it, that I grew up in a very different generation. Well, most of us, if you're my
Yep.
age, if you're old as hell, you know, you kept your feelings in. You
Yes.
didn't speak
Yes.
about things. You held them in. And so I always, and then I became a mom, that I wanted to change that
Mhm.
in my world
Mhm.
and being a mom. And especially with my journey, like you and I share similar traumas together,
Mhm.
it was important for me to speak about it.
Mhm. What made you want to work with Talarian? What was it about them that you were like, yeah, this is the organization that I want to get behind and help?
They're tremendous. And what I think is really different and that keeps them apart from a lot of people is their dual diagnosis. I truly feel like if you're somebody that is dealing with an addiction or you have opioid issues, this is a disease. This isn't a choice.
Mhm.
And most of the time, right, when you're feeling down, what are you going to do? You're going to try to numb the pain. So you're going to start drinking. So what they do is that they treat the mental health separate from the addiction,
Mm.
right? So it's putting the two together.
Yep.
And that really touched me because, you know, um, alcoholism unfortunately has affected my family. And when I think about those things, I'm like, that's right.
Mhm.
And we all decide to do what we can sometimes in privacy to heal our pain,
Mhm.
right? Um, you know, some people have anxiety, they'll pick their skin, they'll,
Mhm.
pull their hair out. I used to do that as a kid, but like when I was 16, not knowing why, but it was anxiety from, again, things that happened to
Mhm.
me when I was a younger child.
Mhm.
So that's why they're amazing at what they do, because they help out so many people and they never turn anybody away. And,
Mhm.
they have sober living homes for men and women, which are super
Mhm.
important, and have inpatient and outpatient. And they're huge supporters
Mhm.
of mental health.
No, that's incredible. It's one of the things that popped in my head when you said that they work they're working to help you on basically two different fronts. They
Yes.
want to they don't want to just treat the alcoholism or whatever it is that you're using as the outlet, but they also want to treat the mental health aspect of it and help you become mentally and emotionally stronger. It it was it's weird how it clicked, because as a coach, whenever I get someone that wants to sign up at my gym, I let them know off the bat, like, I'm not a normal coach.
Hmm.
It's like, I need you to be right mentally and emotionally so you can do the things correctly physically. If I try to teach you how to do this,
Right.
you're not right in the head, meaning you're mad at your job, you're mad at your significant other, or you're mad at family, or you're sad, or you're just having a bad day. It might get in the way of you learning the technique right now because you're focused on that, and that's putting up a wall and not allowing you to learn. So it's like some days it's like after a day of training, it's like, hey, you good? What's going on?
Hmm.
What's and it usually takes them a couple times, and they see me do it with other people, because people ask all the time, how are you doing? And they don't really care. Well, when I ask how you're doing, I care. I want to know how you're doing
Right.
so we can sift through anything we could sift through. And it's amazing. I know, and there's football coaches and basketball coaches and tons of coaches that operate that way, because You have no choice. It's like you're trying to get them to do something great physically, but you don't want anything else to get in the way. And it's weird how it's all connected. You can't do anything if your mind isn't strong. If you can't fix your mind and work on that, then it's gonna hold you back in other areas.
Well,
And it's
I
cool.
was an expert at shielding my pain inside.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I got through in life. Like that's
Yeah.
just what I did.
The fake smile.
Yes, like, you know, I would never allow people really to know. They never knew, right?
Mhm.
If I was going through something. And like you said, you know, it will eventually take over your body.
Yeah.
It's fight or flight. You know, after being again traumatized for like the 7th time, my body decided to shut down, and I didn't have control any longer. I had finally had it, and so that's when I decided to seek EDMR trauma therapy to try to heal everything that I've held in, that I've masked inside since I was young.
Now, when did that happen? When did your body just shut down? Because this should be an interesting road to travel down for both of us. How old were you when that happened?
Well, this last one was like 2 summers ago, but if we're speaking open, my first sexual assault was when I was 10.
You know, we share common ground on that one. What I meant is when did you? How old were you when you wanted to seek help? When you went to go get treatment?
Oh, when did I first realize that I needed to get
Yeah,
treatment?
yeah.
That was when I was a junior in college and I tried to commit suicide.
What was the treatment that you received then?
That's when, you know, well, it's interesting. So again, the night that it happened, I was in my dorm room. I was very, very depressed. I felt very lonely, isolated, again, from my past of holding in these traumas. I just decided I couldn't hold it in anymore. And so I lit a candle, I popped a bottle of pills, woke up in the morning, and I was sent to the ICU. When my mom and brother showed up, they were crying, and I looked at them in devastation. What did I do? And then at that point, I had made the decision for myself to enter myself into a psych ward. And this was the very first time that I ever shared my voice with someone. So it was a gift that I gave to myself because I finally was able to talk about things that I've been hiding. And that's when I began therapy.
First of all, thank you for sharing. I don't know if people realize how hard it is to talk about sometimes and just be open with it. And so that's appreciated.
And I feel no shame.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of people that feel shame if they're dealing with mental health, but there is strength in mental health, you know?
Strength when you when you take off the mask.
Yes.
When you stop being someone else.
Yes.
And you just decide to there's courage in vulnerability.
Exactly. Vulnerability. You have to allow yourself to be vulnerable to accept yourself.
So as far as it's the EDMR treatment?
EDMR. Yes.
So when did you get that treatment?
2 summers ago.
Oh, you did say that. I'm sorry.
Oh God.
So
It's okay.
What did you notice a difference or do you notice a difference since you've gotten that treatment? And what differences would you say you see?
Oh, definitely. Well, again, this was the first time that I ever really sought help um, for what I've been through. Um, this was the hardest type of therapy I've ever done, but what it does, it brings you to that moment of when these things happened in your life. And anyone that's been sexually assaulted or physically abused, you never forget the sound, the atmosphere, the clothes. Those are the type of things. So, what we did is that we went back to those times that these occurred in my life as a child and as an adult, and I was able to talk to myself.
Mm.
So each one, I had to go through each one and then be able to close that chapter to move on to the next one. So they were all kind of open wounds in me. And so this was my opportunity to actually face forward to it and really see it and forgive myself for feeling, the things that I did and realizing, you know what, I was just a child. It wasn't my fault.
Man. The
So
I'm
I recommend it for anyone.
Yeah, I'm asking
EDMR.
for I'm
Yes,
probably
do it.
asking for more selfish reasons because I've been I got told about it, but I don't really know anybody that's gone through it. And so is that I could be getting things confused now. Is that the same one where they're focusing on your eye? And
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
so that's I got advice for that for PTSD for the same
Yes.
things. And so it's
I-
and when you were talking about it, I'm like, okay, that's some of the processes that I do. It's
Yes.
like I talk to that younger version of me
Yeah.
all the time and like encourage that version of me and go through life. So you seen a dramatic change within yourself?
Absolutely. It was a 2.5 month process. I I had to take leave from work. And I realized that again, like I said, I had just had it is when,
Mm,
I was at work and I was asked to do an interview and I said no. I have never said no
mm,
to anything. And so, that's when I realized it's time for me to get help,
mm,
you know? Um, but yes, it was a really wonderful journey. I learned a lot about myself. You know, each one of those traumas, I wrote down exactly what happened, and then to celebrate, when I was done with my therapy, I had a whole bunch of my friends gather with me, and I took all the letters that had all, the past on them, and I put them in a fire, and I let them release.
mm,
And you learn to protect yourself,
mhm,
right? If you're a people pleaser, I learned I was a people pleaser. I am not a
mm,
people pleaser anymore.
mm,
Um, but you learn what is not healthy for you
mhm,
in your space.
mm,
And so I learned how to create a protection wall around me if ever I feel like, again, I'm
mhm,
in fear of, feeling uncomfortable, my anxieties popping up.
mhm,
It's important that you surround yourself with love. And if anything is toxic around you, you need to release that.
mm. Man, I call that a hazmat suit. That is the suit you jump in so
Yes,
nobody can bring any
that's right.
negative energy to you because just ain't got time for that.
Or I could just be your size and know that you're
Yeah,
gonna kick my
yeah,
butt. I
yeah.
know. Let's be honest.
So, oh man. So what is the biggest difference? Because I want people to understand the differences in treatment. So
Mhm.
I didn't even think about therapy. If somebody would have told me when I was younger, You said a junior in college. So you're looking somewhere around early 20s, mid 20s.
Yes.
So if somebody would have came up to me in my 20s and said, yo, you need therapy. First of all, whole different era.
Yes.
And I probably would have laughed at them and said, nah, I'm good. And now speaking to multiple therapists and going through that, definitely look at it differently. But my question is, what's the difference in treatment that you see now and what you went through in comparison to when you were in junior in college?
That's a good question. Well, a lot, of course. I was still a kid when you think you're in college, right? You're only 19 versus myself today. I've obviously grown. I've been through a lot of life now, being 48 in a couple weeks. I know.
I was gonna say
Jeez
you look
Louise,
like
where did that happen?
I was gonna say you look like you're like a good 33.
Oh, I love you. Oh, you're so sweet. That I don't know if I can answer that question. We of course evolve as we get older. You're not the same person when you're 20 versus when you're 30, right? And so I've had a lot more life, right, to lead. And I think understanding yourself better and being ready. I think it's being ready to finally know it's time. I didn't know I was going to be ready. I didn't even know that I needed to go down this road, because I've been talking, I've had therapy like most of my life, and I love it, and I totally promote it being fabulous for you. But again, not until I realized it affected my physical body and my mind, that I was just like, I've always been trying to help everybody else. And now it was finally time for me to put myself first, to help myself.
See, listening to you, it's again, it's one of these moments where I've at least said it once or twice before, where the person I'm speaking to, I'm recognizing is so much further ahead in life and understanding of certain things than where I am. And one, I love speaking to people that are like that are further ahead, because there's so much to learn. And one, like, I'm loving the universe right now, because the last couple days have been so difficult for me, and it feels like I'm going through the same things. And it's like, well, what is going on here? It's like, I've already dealt with this. What is the problem here? And it's been a recognition of like, hey, maybe you haven't dealt with it as well as you thought you have.
Right.
And just feeling so drained and so worn out, giving more to people to make up for being tired. It's like, well, I'm tired. So it's like, I got to show up and I got to give more. And listening to you talk, and you got to that point where it was like, no. And that was just the uncommon thing for you at that moment in time. And it's like, well, wow, there's actually different stages of this. And it's like, it's one thing to know it.
Yes.
You know it, of course, duh. There's different stages that you go through any grief or any healing. But then hearing you talk about it from junior year to like 2.5 years ago, and that journey where I'm thinking like, man, during COVID, I almost called it a day. Yeah. So it's like that I'm still like a newborn in this transition. If I'm looking at that, I don't want to make direct comparisons with you. And it's like, oh, I'm like a baby in this journey, because it took until there was nothing for me to do and for me to slow down to realize like, oh, I may not be able to push through everything. I can't hide from it anymore. And so the EDMR treatment is something that I've really gone back and forth about, because it's like, well, is it going to work? Is it going to do this? Can I even, I've talked about these things openly. That's happened to me. But the thought of facing it that way
Yes.
is like a whole nother level.
And that's exactly what will happen. This will be your chance to face it head on. It's completely different from therapy. You'll face
That's different.
You'll face it dead on, and you deserve to. You deserve to let go all of that's inside that has a hold on you, right? So many of us walk through life with all these things that just bring us down, and it just eats us up.
Yeah.
And we're not able to let it go. You're going to learn that. For me, I was taught the tools on how to let and heal and close these chapters. And I'm a totally different person.
In what ways would you say you're a different person? You said,
Yeah.
well, you mentioned that you're not a people pleaser anymore and things of that nature, but could you be more specific on how did that affect you personally? Like, how does it affect your personal life? How does it affect your relationship with your daughter?
Mm-hmm.
Things of that nature.
Well, I'll just say in the last 3 years, I went through a lot of stuff. I went through a divorce. I went through, again, an assault. I lost my job from budget cuts. I mean, I've been through, a lot. And I took 3 years. The past 3 years, I have focused on myself to heal, to relearn who I am now today, especially becoming a single mom. Things that I don't want to ever bring to my next relationship. And then again, things that I won't allow in my life anymore, because again, I don't let toxicity in my life. So if I needed to let people go, I had to do that to protect myself. And so my mindset is just completely different. I'm calm now. I'm at peace now.
That's so big.
Yeah.
That's so big.
And it was a blessing, it was a blessing in disguise that, I had to go through this, but I'm so dang freaking happy that I did it.
Now, peace is everything. Having a peace of mind, a peaceful soul, that's everything. And hearing you talk is so inspirational, because I coach fighters, I coach men and women. So the one thing I've had to learn is really dive into the psychology of how men think in comparison to how women think, because I can't coach women the same way I coach men, and I can't coach men always the same way I coach women. There is a difference. And so what you're talking about seems to come almost natural for men. It's like, well, no, I don't want that energy around me. Get away from me. Like, you're not doing anything. It tends to be a little bit easier. And the one thing I've seen over and over is for women, it's harder to break away from that. It's harder to command your space. It's harder to say, nah, you're not allowed in my space. You're not allowed in my bubble. You're not bringing the energy I need right now. Remove yourself, or I'm going to remove myself from that. And I hope any woman listening, or anybody in general, can hear how powerful that is, and hear how you sound. Like, that's super dope, man.
Well, and speaking about women, I personally have been a true advocate of supporting women. That's what we need to do, is to uplift each other. Women empowerment is so very important. I just don't have a mind like that where, you know, you're nasty to someone else because what, she's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, compliment a woman if she's pretty. Don't
Yes.
compare yourself to them or think that they're better than you. Just, we got to stop that.
The cattiness.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
We should support each other. So that's just who I am. I don't have that in my brain.
That's, I look at the trauma that you've been through, the trauma that I've been through.
Mhm.
That's the gift that almost gets left behind, is that you go through these things that you wouldn't wish on anyone.
Correct.
You wouldn't wish it on anyone. And it allows you to look at people with almost no or very little judgment. You can look at people and you want to uplift them.
Yes.
You're like, hey, I know how bad life can be. Like, no, you're doing great. Keep doing it. Keep going after it. And you don't fall into that comparison. That's, I think that's it's still, even today, weird for me to say, it's the gift that gets left behind from all the BS and all the trauma that someone can go through with dealing with the things that, that we've dealt with. And so it's like, you just look at life differently.
Yes. And I'm a true believer in looking at yourself as well. You can be happy, successful, living a life with mental health. I mean, look at you, for gosh sakes, what you've been through, and look at how many things that you have taken control of and are very successful with. And that's what I try to use my platform for, because I'm able to. I have this outlet. It's my responsibility to share it.
No, and I think you're killing it.
Oh,
like
I'm just a loud mouth. I just have a loud ginger mouth. That's all.
I think it's amazing because you're using it to, as you just said, to promote such an incredible thing. You want to help so many people. So why not be loud about it? Why not be proud about it? And I am trying to think of the right words here. You truly inspire me. And I know there's women that you truly inspire. They've told me you inspire them. And so it's, first of all, you're in a male dominated field.
Yes.
Yeah. And you've been doing it for 25 years. First of all, that's incredible. Like, if you can do anything for 25 years, you become almost pretty much a master at it. You've mastered this. And the fact that you continue to push for mental wellness, push for people to improve, and you're just really the best word I could think of outside of inspirational. You are like a Amazonian warrior. It's like you're just like, yeah, let's make this happen. And like, let's go. Put a sword in your hand and you're good to go.
Oh boy.
Like, so.
Like She-Ra, Princess of Power.
People don't know about that. Oh, She-Ra was dope.
You need to know.
She-Ra was dope. She was dope.
Yes, she was.
She was smashing folks right along with He-Man.
Yes.
So it was like that's super. Like Corey, you're a part of this generation. You know what? You know what we're talking about. Yeah. So
you know, it's kind of funny, and I put it out there. Like, if I were to choose He-Man or Skeletor, I always had a crush on Skeletor. I don't care that he did not have a face; his body was so chiseled compared to He-Man. So that's all I have to say. Right? Yes.
People don't know about know about that. I think what was I talking about? I was talking about
Princess of Power? Or?
No. There was another show around the same time.
Fraggle Rock?
with Snarf and
Thundercats?
Thundercats.
Yeah.
I'll walk around the house sometimes. Snarf, like just because it just pops in my head. I don't know. It's just crazy, and it made me think of our generation had the dopest cartoons.
We did. Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
We had that. Plus, it led into G.I. Joe.
Yeah.
Knowledge. What did he say? He said, I'm messing up quotes, but it's Transformers.
Yeah.
Thundercats. Man,
Mhm.
He-Man. Yeah, you like Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Woo!
That's
Hot.
funny.
Grr.
So you would take Paul if he was still alive, Paul Walker over Vin Diesel.
You know what? Can I quickly share?
Yes.
That I used to do promotions. I had an agent out in Miami, and they had me work the Dolphins game. And I saw this guy with super blonde hair running with a red T-shirt through the crowd with the biggest smile with another guy. I didn't know his face. And it was Paul Walker. He ran right across from me, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, that's Paul Walker. He was so, so beautiful as a person. So now I forgot the question because I was always so in love with him.
So that
like,
you answered the question. You answered the question.
Yes. Oh, would I choose? Yes, I would choose Paul Walker over Vin Diesel.
Wow. That's now I'm thinking of, so you would take Iron Man over Thor. Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh. Oh,
Iron
now this is getting good.
Oh, she can't say no to Thor. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
I have a thing for blondes, so.
Oh, okay. There we go.
But my boyfriend has dark hair, so.
You better dye it.
No.
Let's get him to dye the hair.
He's got beautiful dark hair. Yeah, no. Yeah, our childhood definitely was fun.
So what is 25 years in radio? Do you see yourself in radio for another 20, 25 years?
I hope so.
Oh, that's dope. Where were you going to say something?
I'm hoping that, my path will go even further, what I'm supposed to do in my life to be here, I would like to be able to start speaking in touring, like you and I have talked about this, and and writing a book about my life to try to help other women get through these things, especially. So yeah, I don't know what's in store for me, but I sure hope I have a good time doing it.
Well, last time we talked, when you talked about writing a book and speaking, I was just like, yeah, you're gonna flood that market and they're not gonna know what to do with you. Because what I love is that follow me on this one now.
Okay.
Everything that you used to probably hide all the pain, you still have now. It's not hiding the pain. It's just who you are. The smile, the laughter, the being loud, the enjoying life. It's now not a mask. It's just part of who you are. And when you step onto that scene, they're not going to know what to do with you. You're just going to come out there just tons of red-haired energy, and you're gonna uplift a lot of women that I believe now more than ever need it. And when you think about, you talked about it earlier, in our generation, you just didn't talk about things.
Right.
It's like you just hid from it. You buried it, or you put it to the side, and you didn't want to confront it. And it's something about our society now where we might have more, I'm guessing because we have more time on our hands to be able to sit with ourselves. It's really forcing people to deal with things. And you being out there, yeah, people are going to love it. People are going to gravitate to it. So,
and I want to let the ladies know, especially, it always makes me chuckle in a way, in a seriousness though. If you have been sexually assaulted and people say to you, well, why are you coming out now? I always hear that. Why are you coming out now? It is when she is ready, when she is in that healing moment to be able to share it. And men too, when I was sexually assaulted, when I was 10, then I got sexually assaulted when I was 11. And then, I was sexually assaulted in my 20s. I didn't say anything. I kept it all in. And it's okay. Let it out, and you do it on your time. It's when you're ready, basically.
Yeah.
Just like you've got things that are going on inside.
Yeah.
It's when you're ready to share.
Well, that's kind of what started this. Like Corey and I were talking about me doing something, and had a co-host and didn't like the direction it was going in. And me and her are still great friends. She's one of my fighters. She still trains. But I just didn't like the direction it was going in. And so I hit a turn, and Corey was like a therapist, because he would ask me questions and I would just talk. And I've shed so many tears on the first part of this journey and just talking about it. And I was like, it's so weird, because I've been on stage as a speaker and I've talked about it and I sort of would nibble on it. I would say, yeah, I was beaten and assaulted and this is what I've been through, and then move on from it.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting on the camera and talking about it, I really had to talk about it. But even now, just hearing when you started diving deeper, I had to shake off tears that wanted to come out. It was like, wait a minute, what, like, not time for this right now.
Aww.
And so it was like, just when you were talking about the treatment
Mm-hmm.
and having to face that, and I was like, man, that takes the amount of courage it takes to talk like that and go through that treatment is insane. And I don't know if people, if you've never dealt with assault, you don't understand. There's no way you can understand the lack of power you have right then, the lack of control when you're actually forced to be a victim. And that's a whole different avenue when you don't have a choice in that one. And so, yeah, that's why I'm so in awe of you right now.
Oh, thank you.
Because one, I didn't anticipate us talking about it in that depth. But then you talking about the treatment, and it's like, I'd rather take a kick to my face than actually sit in front of this and do that treatment and just have that conversation with younger me. I'd rather get punched in the face, for real. So it's like the fact that you did that is insane.
It's interesting. I don't know if you remember this. So I also was mugged twice within 4 months. When I came to you, remember what I told you? I wish I would have known how to protect myself like you teach women today how to protect themselves. That is so stinking important, Shaw, that you teach young women self-defense. So I thank you for that.
Oh, thank you. We were at Monona Grove doing that today.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a little weirded out having these conversations with like high school girls. It's like, it's like, and then I have to figure out how to be a little more PG about the conversation and talk about it. But what I loved most is that they were enthusiastic. Yes. And I had two great people with me. I brought two of my female fighters with me because today I wanted the women to get grabbed. And so I thought it would be a little more comfortable for them if a woman was running them down and grabbing them. And then I just jump in sometimes. And it was 30 to 40 women and a couple guys in the class, but it was crazy watching them fight and really go.
And it happens so fast, right?
Yeah.
When you're attacked by someone, you can't even correlate in your brain what is happening when it happens. So you're teaching women how to react naturally because it's been trained in them. So
well, I'm honest with everybody, even with these girls. I'm like, I'm creating trauma. Don't get it. Please don't think of it any other way. I'm creating some kind of trauma here so it sticks in your brain. But this trauma is meant to help you have the right instincts to fight off the trauma if it ever happens in the real world.
Yes.
And so it's like, we have to attack you. We have to do certain things. And I encourage anybody, men and women, specifically women, go find somewhere to do self-defense. Anywhere you are, find self-defense. And it's great if they teach you the moves. I'm okay with that at first. But even if you have brothers, a husband, friends, have them throw on some gear and just out of nowhere grab you, because you need to start creating those instincts where you can respond to somebody and you can pop them in the face, pop them in the nose, hit them in the ear, hit them in the groin, just hit any soft spot on a guy will tend to drop them. And so, yeah, this is, I'm all about that.
Yeah, I think you should be.
Yeah, we need to get you in some sessions.
I know.
Because you got these beautiful nails too. Oh, you are gonna claw somebody up.
Bam.
No fist. We open palm that.
Bam.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
And then you open palm and you take that thumb and it's right in their eye. Yeah, you get it.
Well, and I've got a weapon myself because I lost my eye when I was 5 years old because some kid hit me with a hockey stick and sliced it in 4. So I could throw this glass eye and knock someone out too. So don't mess with a one-eye redhead because you're messing around.
This is why everybody's gonna love you. You are literally like a comedian. Oh. You don't hide. You don't hide from anything when it comes to you. You're just like, oh man. First of all, I can't even imagine if you took your eye and threw it at somebody when they tried to rob you. That would be like, that would probably make them freeze right there. Like, what just hit
that?
me?
Yeah.
But so book tour, speaking, still doing radio, podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
The Madtown Mom Squad.
Oh, and what do you typically talk about on the Mom Squad?
It's myself and 3 other beautiful women, Dr. Jazz, Shanna, and Karina. They're all moms. We all come from different, backgrounds, and we talk about real mom life.
That's dope. Mom life. Mom life is complicated. It looks like I'm a dad.
Parenting is complicated.
Yeah, facts.
You're coming on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moms and dads. It's just a different. I've now seen the different roles. It's kind of fun, but moms typically deal with all the scratches, the sniffles, I'm sad, I need a hug from mom and things of that nature. So moms are, plus my mom's dope. So
yeah,
that's, yeah. But what days, where can they find your podcast, and what days
you're sweet.
Do you have it?
So it's on iHeart's platform, podcasting platform, and they launch every Thursday.
Every Thursday, what time?
10 a.m.
Nice.
Nice.
Check that out. Madtown Mom Squad. What? So wait a minute. What topics do moms talk about? For what? So can you give me an example of a serious one and maybe a funny one?
Well, today I had Dane County District Attorney Ishmael Zahn on the show to talk about the no hit zone.
Wait, what's that?
And corporal punishment. That would be, like most of us growing up in our generation, physical harm was a way of
Yeah.
discipline for a child.
Yeah.
This is, we're saying no to that.
Oh,
And
nice.
how doing that, and there's no judging here, but how that actually affects a child mentally through life. Yeah.
Yeah. My childhood is the reason why I don't put my hands on my kids. So I'm with that.
Yeah. And anywhere from, I had the Real Housewives of Orange County, Vicki Gunvalson, on the show.
How was that?
She's amazing. She's from the Midwest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, she's from Illinois. So she says, Krista, these women out here, they don't know what she said this, what hard work is. Yeah. She said, not like these Midwest girls.
Midwest girls.
Yeah. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Now
she's awesome.
that's funny. Where outside, is there anything else, if in a dream world, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my last two questions here. In a dream world, you could drop the next 20 years of your career. What exactly does that look like?
I want to watch my daughter become who she wants to be. My journey now, in 3 years is she's going to be 18. She's going to college, and I just can't believe that. And I'm going to be an empty nester. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm really excited about, to see, Gia become the woman that she wants to be, her success. And so that'll be fun for me. And then me, I want to be happy and travel and continue with my passion and be in love and
I like that.
all those things.
Well, get it, girl.
Yes. I want to see Lady Gaga on tour. I want to see.
That seems like it would be easy for you to do.
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. I want to go to Coachella.
Oh my goodness. Well, get it, girl. Like, yeah. Those are things you can make happen here.
Yes. I want to go to Greece. Yeah. There's a lot of things.
Yeah. That sounds like.
Yeah. The Maldives.
Man. So
Come on now.
The next 20 years, you got a lot going on.
I got a lot of stuff.
Oh, I see it. I see it.
I
like it.
To go.
Now, my last question for you. Podcast is called You Control You.
Yes.
We always have moments, and you may have mentioned it already. We always have moments where we have to look at ourselves and we're like, I'm out of control here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not driving the machine right now. The machine is autopilot, and I need to do a better job here and take control of my life. What was that moment for you where you were like, nah, I gotta do a better job. I gotta drive the car. What is your You Control You moment?
Well, when my life completely changed, was unfortunately going through a divorce. That's when my life, completely changed, but my ex-husband and I are super good friends. But that was a big life change. And that, again, that was part of my journey of those 3 years was to relearn who I am. So, and those 17 years will always be special to me.
Yeah, divorces are tough. But it's good to know that you guys are still close friends, especially. That's the best.
Yes.
The best way to have it especially for your kid.
For Gia, yeah.
So it's that's amazing. Krista, this won't be the only time I have you on here, because I think we could dive in so much more on other things and have longer in-depth conversations about mental wellness. So I definitely want to have you back on again. You always say that I'm kind.
You are.
And well, thank you. The thing is, I really want you to take your flowers of how courageous and how amazing and how beautiful of a person you are, because you have overcome the darkest of dark moments. And I could say that and maybe never, and if I didn't go through it myself, I wouldn't fully understand what I'm saying maybe, but I've been there and I know the fight it takes, and for you to come out on the other side and be stronger because of it, be able to raise your daughter to be powerful, to be strong, and to never let it hold you down, still be funny, still be loud, and still just be you, is absolutely amazing. And please understand there's nothing in this world that could take that light from you.
Oh,
just hang on to that light.
I love you, Shaw. You're so sweet to me.
And you are absolutely adored and needed. And I can't wait till your book drops.
Oh.
I can't wait till you're speaking. I am going to be one of those people that will probably wait an hour to get a ticket and listen to you speak. So I'm super hyped. I'm a huge fan of yours, and just keep doing the damn thing, mama.
All right, my man. Yes, I will. I love you.
I love you too. And
Thank you for having me on your show.
No problem. You control you. We out. Peace.
Bye.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat inside the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, then everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up at the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the award show. They're coming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Saber, ho. You just be tucking the cake in. I fuck your baby mama in the